Alright, check it, people. We got another addition to the bike. Anywho, you got Gorilla Bedrolls and accessories. They sell these speaker pods, which previously I made my own, which is for a 6-inch speaker, but these are made for a 6.5, and it's very hard to get a waterproof 6-inch speaker, so this is the next alternative. More than likely I'm gonna probably manipulate this one and figure out to work a little better, but it is what it is. But obviously we got 7-inch speaker pods, and with inside I see that they have a cone that they shaved out to fit within the headlight unit. Also, they sent 2 of these, which will clamp onto your crash bar, and they also sent these as well too, so that you can tighten the clamp on them, and they gave you a variation of both, so depending upon how thick your bars are, I'm assuming that's what they got. So you got the sticker that came with it. You also have the card that came along with it, so hopefully that'll help you out. And then on the back side you have that information as well too. So if you want to go see what they offer, be my guest. Here we go. So let me move over. So what a good image. Anywho, this is what we got. You got these pieces here. You have the mount itself, and then you have the actual, let me see if I got it. Yeah. You have the skinny ones, which I figure that I'm gonna use once I clamp them up, because I got a little bit of space. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's about 1/4 inch, and that's fairly tight. And obviously if I keep squeezing it, once I put the speaker pod on there, it's gonna get a little tighter. So you got those skinny ones in there. Let me see if I can pull that out. These are the skinny ones. It's probably like 1/8 of an inch thick. And then you have the other ones that they gave you, just in case you have a skinnier bar, I'm assuming. Let's say that's 1/4 inch probably thickness on it, and it is made out of aluminum, so you won't get it to rust. Only problem that I'm worried about is that once you put them in, they're gonna scratch up your bar. So that's up to you. So make sure you pretty much gauge where you want it to be before you actually tighten it down, and that possibly could, or better yet, you could get like a piece of rubber and put in between these so it'll draw tight and necessarily won't scratch up your crash bar. So from that point, obviously we're gonna get the pod on here, and then we'll go from there. I'm just giving you guys a little brief idea as to how I'm gonna go about it, but I don't know how I'm gonna situate it for the final result. Moving. All right, here we go. When the pods come, they come obviously with the cord in it like this, and then you have the space in there like that. And since I have speakers already, I didn't get them pre-assembled. So what I'm doing is I took that out. There's 2 screws in the side. Take that out. And then I took my speaker, which are Art Audios and waterproof. Do fairly well for me. I don't know about you, but for me I did. Then I put 2 little markings in it. Where's my little marker? These I kind of keep on deck, so I know what I have, and I can always use them on various materials. But anywho, took it off, put a little dot in it, and now I have my holes that I should be drilling. So that's what I'm gonna take time to do here in the next couple seconds, so give me a little time. Alright, let me give you an update. This is taking quite some time to figure this out, but it's a good thing that I have made a video previous to this to show you how to put pods on your motorcycle. Alright, these are some of the dilemmas. I'm going to come back, but I'm going to show you something real quick. This is what it looks like. I just think based on the previous speaker pod video that I showed you, better yet I'll leave you a description, and these are much bigger. These are just as big as the headlight. See the headlight? So it's much bigger and it's kind of cumbersome in this area. I just pray that it doesn't fall down, and then it could definitely affect your brake. But just like everybody, you're willing to go with style rather than function. So at the end of the day, I'm just hoping it doesn't fall down. I'm pretty sure it won't, but it might creep down to the point where it gets closer and closer to that brake pedal. But hopefully by that time I'll be able to adjust it and go back and show you some other things. But I just wanted to put that on there. I'll button this side up. I'm already done with this side, and when I get on the other side, I'll show you what were some of the problems that I came into with installing this. All right, here we go. We're back for some quality time with you guys. This is what I found out. Let me pull you in. These are the two clamps that they give you. Like I said, this one's about 1/8 of an inch, and this is about 1/4. The problem what I'm having with my Road King, I don't know the diameter of it, so I can't tell you that. But anywho, this is the clamp he sends you, and it has that little gap in it. I want you to pay attention to that and remember that. Let's say this is the bar. This is not the actual size of what's on the Road King, but I just want to let you know. And like you said, I have a 12 Road King. So when you put these little thin ones on my bar, these are the thin ones. And then obviously I use the clamp that he has, and it goes over those two. But I want you to pay attention to this. When I clamp it down, it bottoms out and it doesn't get tight. That's the problem that I'm running into. And these would be the ideal ones that I would be able to use. Now, take those off. We put the 1/4 inch ones on there. The thing with the 1/4 inch ones, when you put those on there, let me open it up a little bit. When you put those on there, it's so wide. Let me open up. It's so wide that when you try to put the end of the housing on it, it won't even clasp enough to put the nut on top of it to try to tighten it down. So, good thing I had prior pods, and that way I can use those components for this one. So what I did was, I have these which they made from Harley. I don't know if they still make them. That's up to you to find out. But I got these from Harley a while back when I made my video for it. And I'm pretty sure the same problem is going to happen with these. It's going to get water in them. It's going to be corrosive, all that good stuff, because it doesn't have a good seal on it either. And that's what I was looking for, but apparently you spend the money, so now we got to go forward with what we got. But with the Harley ones, and like I said, this bar isn't necessarily what I need, but with the Harley ones, I could tell I had about 1/4 inch in here that I would be able to squeeze it down, and it was already really tight just outside of 1/4. Alright, let me tell you this. With these, the only thing it came with the pods, it came with this lock washer and this bolt. On my previous setup, it came with these two, which I just showed you. And it also came with this and this one as well. Let me see, where's my other piece? Did I lose it already? Oh, it's over here. But anyways, what happens is when you swivel them, it is able to lock and intertwine, which I like this. But what I like it for is, once you sandwich it together and you put it on top of this piece, what happens is it bends because the piece that is, let me show you, let me get it on here first. Let me get it on there first. Okay, so there we go. So once we get it on here, this part right here is going to hit the bar. So what I like about this is it kind of locks, it gives it a little space in there. So it'll kind of it'll take up that space, and it won't necessarily just be bending, but you have that like that rubber piece on there to help it mold to the shape. So I like this part. Also, what I want to tell you too is once you put, I'm not going to put it all on there, but you'll see what I'm talking about once I get it all installed. Once you put your nut on there, they gave a little piece to put a little cap on there to kind of button it all up and make it look kosher. I like it. It looks pretty sweet. You take this piece right here, it's like an end cap. I'm assuming it has like some little grooves in it, and you put it right over the top of the bolt and gives it a nice little finish touch. And I like that. That's pretty cool. You won't be able to see all this. The only thing you'll be able to see is this and the clamp that goes on it once you get it on. And I'm assuming it pulls off. I just pray once I'm driving it doesn't it doesn't just jump off of there. When you put this on, you obviously can't open it up like such. You're gonna have to get your hex screw and break those bolts, and then you put it on like so. I think prior to this, when I first put them on, I put a not Loctite, but I put anti-seize on it so it wouldn't seize up on me, because it seems like it's metal. So that's what I did. Then I put it on like this. All right, here we go, man. What I did was, I don't know if you guys can see it, but back up in here, I put my cord, so when I knew it was time, it would be time, I could go ahead and pull out my speaker wire and do what I got to do. So, all right. So we got that disconnected. Run it down the back side and to the speaker part, which will go here. Then it'll run up in there. So unravel all this tape off of it. So from that point, I'm gonna just go ahead and pull my wire and make sure I have enough that hooks up to the actual part. So here we go. We'll need this piece, and we'll need these two and this. So we got those components, and I need these two and my hex. So like I said before, you got to disconnect these two, and then you put the screws in them, and then you can go from there. So we want these facing forward like the other side, and then it'll hang off the back end. So that's that. Put that on there. And we line up our screws. And we'll screw them in, and then we'll tighten them. All right, now that I got that, that's what I was telling you about. Now, let's say I put it, I hate to do this, but we'll take more time, because I really want to show you this. And that way you can make an educated decision as to whether you want to go with these as well. But like you say, I got prior knowledge, so I got a little bit of insight. Like I say, we're gonna put this in here. Down a little bit. If you can see how that is somewhat trying to conform to that little curve in there, and it fills in that void in that gap in there. And obviously the tighter that I get, is gonna get in even better, let's say. And also too, you got all this rubber in here which squishes down, and it also puts pressure on that lock washer. So what I'm really trying to do is get that lock washer so it's flat. Now we want to take our wires, which we had here, our speaker wire, and run it up in through that hole. It's the one I had to open up a little bit so it can fit the, see that barely goes in right there, barely goes in. And then I run the small one in right behind it. All right, there we go, we in. All right, so now I'm gonna pull something down, and that's how we gonna hook it in there. We got it right here, I zip tie it like that, and I zip tie it up here, keep it tight. All right, and then we'll grab our speaker, so hook that in. The fat one to the fat one, and the small to the small. And I like to put those to the top because if you don't put them to the top, if they did have some type of wiring infiltration or water infiltration, it may do something to your wiring. So put them up high, that way in case we don't get any problems. We'll grab the little small one and we can go from there. Alright, the small one is on there. And now we'll get to securing the speaker to the actual lid. And I put some little white marks for reference. That way I can have an idea as to where it goes. Alright, now, this is what I feel like the gripe is. Like around this edge right here, you can't necessarily see it because obviously I'm not standing directly over it, but it's not even all the way around. And then when you put this piece on it, let me show you. When you put this piece on it, it isn't necessarily tight as it should be. And that's my dilemma with these. It is what it is, but all life goes on. We're gonna make it work. We's gonna make it work. Alright, why am I getting hung up? It's crazy. So that's how it's gonna sit, just like that. Then I'll take my screw and I'll come in with my screw and tighten it up. I'm still debating as to whether I want the screw here or down here. I always like to put it in a place where it's gonna be a problem for the next person that's trying to get my speaker pods. All right, I almost forgot about y'all, but anyway, I tightened up this back housing around the little belt around there, and I got it really tight, much tighter than the other side. So now I'm going around and tightening up these screws. And I'll tell you this too. Obviously, you got that little rubber piece that's on where you have the, what do you call it? You got the spacer that's on there. And just make sure you don't strip it. So what I do is, hopefully you can see the drill. You have these different settings on it. So I turn it all the way down to number 1. And then when you get to where it actually shows some tension on it, it starts to make that ratchet sound. And that's what I do. All right, now we got the speaker on there. What I like about these Art Audio is that you can take this tweeter and you can turn it where you need to. But obviously, we just put it right there. We'll see what happens when we put it right there. And let me tell you this piece here, it goes in. There's like a lip on the inside, which I like that as well too. It goes on the inside and you can clasp it, but I'm not gonna do that right now because I want to turn the speakers on and see how they sound before I decide to clap that in, because this thing is like a pain in the butt to try to get off. So we'll see where we go from there. All right, give me some time. Let me hook this music up and we'll see how it sounds. Hey man, we in here playing this music, man. We all in the mood, man. Shoot. Anyways, it come out to be a success. I play some music that YouTube will allow us to play. But man, we got in here and started playing 100 songs, and it was awesome, man. Anyways, this is what we got, man. Let me go on the other side real quick and show you what the end result looks like. It's probably gonna look like that. I know my lighting is bad. Matter of fact, can my assistant hit that garage door, please, ma'am? Thank you. Lord Jesus. Anyways, that's what it will look like when I button everything back up. I'm not, like I said, I had another guy comment and say, hey, why didn't you play the music? Listen, that's subjective to what type of speakers you have and all that good stuff. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm not gonna play it for you. Better yet, I told you I was gonna let YouTube play it, or better yet, play something that YouTube will allow us to play. But that's what it looks like. And from time to time, you'll see it when we get it outside and go on other rides in the near future. So it is what it is. Right now, I'm doing some maintenance. Just got back from that Tallahassee run, so I'm just cleaning up everything, getting it so we can get outside and have some fun. But it is what it is. That's a little side profile. And we'll get back to it. You guys, maybe one day you'll go to Gorilla Bedrolls and think you might need some of these speaker parts, and you'll look them up and maybe order you something. So until next time, man, stay tuned. We moving.